Just what? Okay, hey everyone. You asked me to be the moderator in this call on a one-time basis. I'll start with the agenda. The first item he has prepared is actually for me to give you update on the stability of Starknet after the September incidents. So over the last 2 weeks, Starknet continued to operate almost flawlessly. We had a relatively minor incident actually a few hours ago. We had 2 minutes of downtime. This is again due to some error spike issues with the committer. We experienced it also last month on September, and a fix is scheduled for 0.14.2 with the Rust committer that will not be dependent on error spike and will work faster. As part of the 0.14.2 preparations, we will also do robust stress testing of the committer to see that under no circumstances blocks like the committer is too farther behind the block production, right? Because there is a maximum 10 blocks gap between the two, which is why if the committer stops after 10 blocks, everything stops. Despite that, we accept that we have had many small improvements to the stability delivered to mainnet, mostly around a bit more accurate alerts, a bit more accurate and robust Grafana dashboards to allow us to investigate quicker. And we are also working on further improvements, such as improving our consensus and working when L1 third providers or nodes are flaky. For example, nodes will not offer L1 handler transactions every block. They will do it every few blocks. So if there is an issue or discrepancy in the L1 handlers, the network will resume. And there are many more small robustness features that are planned for the next few months. This is the update. Anyone has any question around this update? Okay, except that I will say that 0.14.1 is also planned obviously between now and 0.14.2. It will include mostly SNP 34 that I released kind of late, just so the version will match some SNP. And we'll introduce a new RPC 10, which is still like first release candidate was published, but we are still considering new release candidate for it. And I expect it to hit mainnet end of November, give or take. We are currently prioritizing robustness and stability improvements over new versions, which is why it was delayed a bit. Any questions around that, or shall we move to the client team performance updates? Yes, Christian.
So I think this was also asked on the JSON RPC channel or maybe somewhere else, but when can we expect 0.14.1 to be deployed onto the integration network?
There is no concrete date yet. I would say in a few weeks, probably end of October or very early November. We aim for 2 weeks integrations and 2 weeks testnet period because it's relatively minor version.
Yeah, okay. Just so usually we are using the integration network and the new features exposed on the integration network to do kind of validation testing of our implementation. So that's pretty much why I'm asking.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. So next, let's move to Pathfinder updates.
There are not much to update this time. We have since the last call, we have released a new minor release fixing a few bugs. We are also accumulating some more bug fixes. So we are expecting to release a new version of Pathfinder soon, probably next week. But those fixes are still in testing. And we are making some progress with the consensus implementation, various issues we've found there. But I really don't want to go too much into the detail here. And we are also trying to integration test our own consensus implementation with Apollo, just to see if the consensus related peer-to-peer communication is working at all. That's pretty much it for Pathfinder.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on it, or shall we move to Juno? Yes, Rodrigo, go ahead.
Thank you. On our side is just we also have no major updates, only that we have been solving bugs also and preparing for a release next week, which will have these bug fixes and also some improvements, including the use of palettes in the RPC, so you get the full benefits from that. And yeah, and generally bug fixes and that's most of us, most of our site. So yeah, those are our updates.
Okay. Carnot, any updates from your end?
Yeah. I hope I'm properly audible.
Yes,
Hello?
we can.
Yeah. All right. So we are soon to close RPC 0.9.0 that will allow us 14.0 update with a sequencer. In the last full node call, we updated you guys about our full node reorg. So that has been on internal testing. It's performing really well. That would be merged really soon. Apart from that, we have few updates on the Madara orchestrator side that are like we're validating the 14.0 aggregator, and hopefully we'll have it completely done with the E2E pipeline so that we have Madara orchestrator and state update happening properly well. Apart from that, we have the multi-block SNOS integration that is going on in the orchestrator side. Given that in 14.0, a single SNOS can run multiple blocks together. So that is what we're focusing on. On top of that, we are pushing forward for the L3 support in 14.0 so that all the L3s that we are currently supporting can be bumped up to that particular version. There are few updates on the full node syncing side of Madara. So we have been testing and trying to optimize the full node syncing speed of Madara. And we have contacted the Pathfinder team. Thanks a lot, Christian, for helping us out with all the evaluations that you guys have done on the Pathfinder side. So with that, we are trying to speed up the process of the full node syncing in the Madara, and we have few optimizations that are coming in our way. Like we are working on a snap sync optimization that will allow us to calculate the global state route after a patch of blocks. So that will help us in increasing speed, as well as lastly on the sequencer side, we have raised all the PRs for SNOS 14.0, and the only two things that are left are block 0 support and 0 fee support, and all these PRs are now merged. Finally, on the Madara Bootstrapper is actually a service that allows us to deploy all the necessities for Madara as a chain to run. For example, the core contract, the UTC and everything. We had a Bootstrapper before, but now we're deprecating it for the much better Bootstrapper V2 that is much more optimized and much faster. So that is also around time it's going to get released soon. So those are the major updates from our side.
Okay, thank you. Any questions around that or otherwise? This was the last item on the agenda. Okay, thank you everyone. So I'll see you in the next call in 2 weeks at the same hour. Have a great day.
Thank you. Cheers.